Well, I'm back, and guys, remember, get ready, get your material because today we are going to talk about something that is useful, very traditional, and normally used for kids. Okay, some people want to learn and to speak English fluently, but remember, in case you want to speak any language, you need to know the words, and in order to know the words, you need to know the letters. And as we talk about letters, voila, you have the alphabet. Okay, so when we talk about the alphabet, the first thing we need to try to keep in mind is that there is an origin for that. So the alphabet, we just use two Greek words, the words alpha, okay, and the word beta or beta, if you want, beta also. So when you get the two words together, and then we have in Portuguese, in English, and some other languages what we call the alphabet. Some other people prefer to call them the ABCs or the or the ABCs. Sometimes we use the apostrophe, sometimes we don't. So it's just a matter of choice. And every time I think of the ABC, I remember that Jackson 5 song. Remember Michael Jackson singing that ABC? So this is a nice song, and from time to time, it's played on some TV shows, some games on TV, on the internet also. So although they belong to the 1970s, 1980s, or even songs that come even before that, so remember that these old songs are going to help you a lot. Movies also are going to help you, and that's what I tell my students in class any chance I have. So remember, we are going to talk about the alphabet. And when we think about the alphabet, there are some people that do not like it. They frown a little and they say, man, that it comes again. I never learned the alphabet. It's because you need to have some kind of technique. You need to be patient. And another thing, you need to remember that the words and they are going to change the pronunciation of some letters. And as we have the Portuguese languages, the Portuguese language and some other languages in which the letters do not change much, in English they do. So they depend on certain combinations. And then we have the syllables, and then the syllables are going to require some other changes in sounding. That's it. Okay, so let me tell you then about the alphabet, because when we talk about this, we need to remember that we have two kind of letters. So let's talk here about letters. The letters we are talking about are not those ones that in the past people used to write and would send by using the post office. Nowadays we use the email, the WhatsApp and stuff. But some years ago, people used it to write messages, long messages, right? And these were called letters. This is not the case. When we talk about letters, remember we have two different ones. I would say three, but let's talk about two. We have the vowels, and then we have also the consonants. Okay, yes, I can see you seeing there. So we have the vowels and we have the consonants. This is something interesting because sometimes we can consider that the vowels are more complicated than the consonants. And without the vowels, we are not going to sound because only consonants usually have no sound at all. I mean, our language, right? There are some crazy languages around the world when they use lots of consonants, okay? So remember that when we talk about the vowels, we have 5 of them. By the way, I have some here. Let me see if it's possible for you to see them. Let me use them here. Let me put them in the right order, in alphabetical order, okay? So we have, for example, letter A, letter E. I think it's correct, right? Yes, letter E, and the letter O, letter I, okay? So this is letter I. In Brazilians, when we say E, they understand like this. right? And when we have this, for example, I, there is a problem. Is I or is IE, for example? I mean, the pronunciation. So this is a problem we sometimes face. Letter O, okay? And letter U. So these A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. Let me put them together here not to get lost. So there you are. Remember that to try to learn the vowels first and then you go to the consonants. Because if you do not memorize them, you are going to have a problem later with spelling. And I'm going to tell you why spelling is so important in your life. I'm organizing here now some consonants just to show you, okay? So I have here, by the way, letter B. So this is letter B. And then we have letter, let's see, letter C, letter C. And then we go to letter, yes, it's okay, letter D, 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 right? Not letter, okay, it's coming, I'm going to tell you. Letter F, F, F. And then we go to letter G, G, G. So this is a problem because when we're teaching, students confuse letter D, 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 and letter G, G, G. You see, they sound very close, but anyways, they are not exactly the same letter. One thing that we tell students, when I say we, I mean myself, okay? But I know that some other teachers do the same. I just have 5 vowels and I have just 5 consonants, the 5 first consonants, B, C, D, F, G. So one thing that you guys can do, let me see, is to try to get how many words you can form. Let's see if it's fine. Yes, right? Yes. So you have here the word if. Okay? Yeah, I need to change. Let me check here. Okay, let me see. Yes. So now it's correct. So if. Okay, and then you go and get the meaning. Another one, it's of. Okay, and then we can go ahead. You can get, man, it's gonna be harder, but let me try to do it. I think it's like this. Let me see if it's correct. I think so. Let's see if it's possible to see. I'm looking at that, but I guess you can see it. Man, it's so damn small, this thing. Yeah. So there you are. You have B-A-D, all right? You have the word bad. Bad. Okay? So when you get the letters and you put them together, you can get like this. So then you have the word bad. If I have, for example, letter E instead, we're going to have a different sound. Man, it's so damn hard, but let's try it. Now, I don't have letter A, I have letter E. So then you say bed, bed, bed. You see? With A, you will say bad. And with E, we say bed, bed. So this is one kind of problem that we face as teachers when we are in the classroom and the students say, come on, teacher, they are the same. Man, they are not the same. And that's why it's important that you try to realize that learning the vowels is something that is going to help you a lot, because after that you go to the 21 only 21 consonants. So total then, of course, we have 26 letters. Some letters are going to be more difficult for you to remember. So my suggestion is try to realize which letters you are going to have problems with. And one of the letters that I remember that people have lots of problems with is letter H. Let me show you here. So then we have, for example, letter 8. What is my suggestion so that you can learn? Remember the numbers. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And then you go to the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 8. So they are related. Letter H and number 8. 8. They are not they do not exactly sound alike, but they are very close. So if you remember, number 8 in letter H is going to be something very useful. Okay? And when we talk about this, we need to remember that there is something called spelling. Spelling is something very important, really paramount, as I like to say. It's paramount, very important, because sometimes you are speaking English to a person, and let's suppose that the person does not speak Portuguese at all. The person doesn't understand that much of the Portuguese language, Italian, or any other language. The person is fluent in English and maybe another crazy language that is possible. So you spell the word, as I did, B-A-D. Oh, I meant B-A-D, man, not B-E-D. So you say bad. I didn't say bed, okay? So then you avoid using what we call in English spelling, the way you write the words, you spell the words, and this is the way we say in English. So what is that thing about spelling? Because, for example, let's suppose that we have a guy named Jerry or Gary, it depends. So sometimes we have like this, Gary, okay? Normally, better if I put like this, I saw like Jerry, okay? So if you have Jerry and Jerry, you say, no, Jerry with G, not with J. So then you say, man, it's with a J, not with a G. And although we may have different ways of writing names, for example, remember that there are some words that we need to kind of spell, and we spell them frequently, okay? Sometimes we need to get to the phonics. And this kind of thing that reminds me now, for example, of words like Mary and Mary, for example. So when you have words like these, so then you go M-A-R-R-R-Y or M-A-R-Y. So knowing how to spell the words, as I said before, is something that is going to be cornerstone, right? It's going to be something essential for you to use in your everyday life and, of course, depending on some circumstances. So words like these, Mary and Mary, remember that the meaning helps. But then if you say, no man, with double R, no man, with G, no man, with J, it's something that helps because some spellings, or at least some letters, if you remember, for example, letter S, remember a hero that has S on his chest. And then you say, man, of course, Superman. Remember, guys, that you have X, for example, in their belts or, I don't know, their uniforms, and it goes, their outfits. So you say, remember Jerry the X-Man. So sometimes even heroes use them. I remember another one, the DD, for example, the Daredevil. I'm going to put a double just for you to remember. So then you have the Daredevil. The Daredevil, if you guys don't remember in Portuguese, is the Demolidor. So Demolidor in English we say the Daredevil, okay? So what else I can tell you about these is about the initials, okay? The initials are going to be used a lot in your life because sometimes if you say, for example, now it's so used, the National Basketball Association. It's something that I remember now. You say, Jerry, the NBA, for example. So when you remember these initials, they are going to be very useful. One that I like to use a lot is the British Thermal Unit. Okay? When we have the British Thermal Unit, we have the BTU or the BTUs in your air conditioner, for example. So no initials is going to be very useful, including Portuguese. Because when you use some Portuguese now, right? When you use the CPF as we, oh yes, CPF, oh man, CPF, for example, we are using this in Portuguese now. Cadastro de pessoas físicas. So you can say the CPF, man, I'm gonna get my CPF. You can say your ID, right? You can say something like this. You can use, for example, the UFR, or as we have here in town, the UFMT. Okay, so stuff like this. As we use the letters, you need to be creative. So try to remember them as best as you can. Okay. One more thing that I just remembered now is about phonics, and I have here, that's why I keep some books here. So this is a nice book I have, it's about phonics. This is just the workbook. So this phonics is because when children are learning English, they learn the sounds. It's not like Portuguese when we learn the syllables. They learn the sounds. They know, for example, that the AW, we are going to say O, O, O. Okay, so we have, let's put like what? Let's put like this. This is going to sound like, it's going to sound like O. As I don't have here how to organize those phonetical sounds, so it's going to be like this, okay? We don't have the transcription. So the AW, it's going to be O. And then we have examples like law, saw, slaw, and then it goes on. Okay, so that's why it's a little bit weird for people when you say, man, we say law, we say saw, we say slaw. It's because we don't rely on the spelling. And this is another problem in English. What you write is not exactly what you're going to read, how you're going to pronounce it. That's why the idea of spelling, let me get back here to the spelling, and don't worry because I'll get back. Spelling is so important. I have here another suggestion. Now it's a movie. In Portuguese, it's called Prova de Fogo. Yes, that is. Okay, so there you have. And in English, it's Aquila and the Bee. Aquila and the Bee. So if you have a chance, try to watch this movie, because then we have those spelling contests that sometimes when we think about this, we let's say non-English speakers, we think it's so weird. Say, man, they have a kind of a competition for the students only to spell the words? Yes, and they have great prizes. They have a kind of fame because of this. So try to get information about the spelling contests, and then you're going to be surprised. I can tell you that. And what is this spelling, Jerry? They have to spell the word like this, spelling. Give definition, give example, right? They can ask for this. And they need me to spell very difficult words, really. Almost enigmas, like mysteries sometimes, okay? My suggestion, before I forget, is when you have a word, okay, it's a kind of exercise, you can go L-A-W. Very nice. Let's get this one because it's longer. S-L-A-W. My suggestion is that you go like adding letter after letter. So you go S, S-L, S-L-A, S-L-A-W. And you try to do that kind of fast. Yeah, now let me repeat that for you. So you can say S, S-L, S-L-A, S-A, sorry, S, man, come on, S-L-A-W. So as you put them together, you're going to be forcing yourself to remember the spelling. And one day when you say, yeah, I like coleslaw. Coleslaw is a kind of food. So then you say, yeah, coleslaw, man, C-O-L-E-S-L-A-W. And then you explain, and the person, sure, of course I remember that. And it's something, again, that is very useful. When we talk about spelling again, and remember, spelling and the alphabet are very close. Remember that some words are kind of difficult for some people to write. I'll give you just some examples of numbers I remember, for example, number 9. So we have number 9, number 19. Okay, let me see. Yes, you can see that. And the number 90. So some people, I remember, they have kind of problem to remember that this is number 9, that this is number 19, and this is number 90. But Jerry, but why are you saying this? Because you see 9, 10, and 90, or 90, as we say usually in English. But the problem actually comes when we have, I'm going to cut and paste, right? Technology is here for that. So let me show you now the way things are going to be like when we have the other numbers. So we have, for example, 9th. Well, Jerry, where is letter E here? Man, there is no letter E. This is the thing I'm trying to say to you now. You say 9th without the E. So then you come here and you say T8, 9th. Then you have the 19th, for example. So you have 19th, no problem. You put it there. And then you have the 90th, 90, T8, 90th. So wow, what's that? Can you explain it again? Sure. Remember that we have some rules in English. It ends in Y, preceded by a consonant. Man, yes. So then what you do? You change it. That's Y into I. In English, we have the plural for some words. Words that end in Y, they are going to change into I, and then you add ES. So then you say 90s. Anos 90. If you want to say that in English, you say the 90s. The 90s. Okay? So as you're talking about the ordinal number, so what do? You drop DS and then you add the T8. So then you say 90th. So in cases like these, you see that the cardinal numbers are not going to be your problem because you say 90, 918, and 980. Okay, I'm saying 90 only for you to understand. You don't say like this. Please never say like this. Okay, as teachers, we have some liberties. Okay, so you say 9, 19, and 90. Okay, and it's another thing that is nice. We say 19, 19. Chin is the stressed syllable. But here you say 90, 90. Okay, so then it's the other way around. And then here is the problem. And this is why I caught your attention to it. So you say 9th, 9th. And this is nice because you need to remember that. So remember 19th, no problem. Letter E is there. And 90th is going to be the same because letter E is still over there. So pay attention to the spelling, pay attention to the letters of the alphabet, because some people think that they are not that important at all. When I am in the classroom, I say that people in general need to read more, need to read better, and we need to learn how to say the letters and the numbers, because you are going to read the license plate numbers for cars, for motorcycles, for vehicles in general. And if you don't know how to say the letters of the alphabet and both, right? The letters of the alphabet and the numbers from 0 to 9 at least, the minimum ones, the first ones, you're not going to be able to read license plate numbers. So remember these and try not to consider the letters of the alphabet as something not that important. To help you a little bit, let me tell you something else, because when we talk about the alphabet, we have, for instance, the songs that we use. When we talk about the ABC song, some people say, "Ah, man, not again, that song," and they do not learn the song. So my suggestion is that you guys try to listen to it, because as you listen to the song, it's going to be nice. But remember that some celebrities, they recorded this. They were in the Sesame Street program, and you're going to have it here. Later on, I'm going to provide the subtitles. So let's go and let's see it the way it is. Okay, so let's go.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Now I've said my ABC. Won't you sing along with me?
Such a great way of playing. Wow, Mr. Ray Charles, all right?
C D E F G
H I J K L M N O P Q R S
T
W X Y Z.
And guys, it goes on. Remember that this is a very traditional song. Some adults hate it, but if you have guys like these celebrities singing, it's gonna be very fun. I love this version, so it's something that I think you should try to do. Now you have on the screen another example. This is OTTAWAN. OTTAWAN is one of those bands from the 1970s, 1980s. I guess these guys belong to the 1970s. This is the D.I.S.C.O, of course, for the disco. Okay, that kind of music that people used to like in the 1970s, some part of the 80s, including Michael Jackson, right? Recorded some discos. So this is interesting because they say the letter and they give an example. And then it gets back to the chorus, the D.I.S.C.O. Please don't hate me if you don't like the song. So let's go.
Delirious, incredible, superficial, complicated.
Desirable, irresistible, super sexy, such a cutie.
You see, you can say the D.I.S.C.O in a nice way, and you can get back here and get these words like this. She is the desirable, she is I irresistible, she is S super sexy, she is C such a cute or cutie. So then you have desirable, irresistible, and so forth. So it means what? That you have one letter, some examples. Another letter, some examples. So one thing that you can do is exactly this. Get your name and spell it. Get your family members' names, each one at a time, and then you spell them. Do not forget that we have some letters that can be words. Example, I. Remember that I is one pronoun too, like I am Jerry. So in situations like these, we have the letter I and we have the word I. And the word I, because it's a pronoun, it's going to be considered a word because, of course, it has such a meaning. Okay. In situations like these, let me get to the full screen there. And then you're going to have all these. To remember, we have the shortest word, I. One example, okay? Let me take it out. So we have this word I as the shortest one. And then you go, we have one letter, I. And then you think about another one with two letters, in, or it, or is. There are too many. So you have two letters and you have another word. And then you get words with 3 letters, 4 letters, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know, 20 letters. Get long words like one, I remember that it has a lot of I's, but it does not begin with letter I, is responsibility. Responsibility is, let me type it here because it's a long word. Okay, just hold your horses, please. Just hold your horses. I'm going to type the word, oh man, let me just organize it. The word is responsibility. So let me go, okay, so let's see. So then I'll go spelling RESPONSIBILITY. To help you better, try to separate them like RESPONSIBILITY. One thing that is important is that in Portuguese we change here. In Portuguese we use letter A. Remember that. In English we have letter I. That's why I said that spelling is important. You can go using the Portuguese style like using syllables. RES. This is something interesting. And then you can go PON. Then you can go SIBILITY. But the idea is that you try to spell everything. RESPONSIBILITY. Excuse me? Sure. The idea is, man, it's terrible if you say, man, let me close my eyes and try. No. Try to be with your eyes open and then you can spell the word. When you are able, try not to look and then you go. RESPONSIBILITY. Oh yes, it's correct. Okay, so this is something interesting, and when we are teaching the letters of the alphabet, we try to make guys have fun. I try to make guys have fun because learning the alphabet is something very, very, very important. Okay, so remember that today we talked about the alphabet, okay? And as we talked about the alphabet, remember that they are 5 vowels and 21 consonants. They are going to be very useful in your life because if you pay attention, you're going to realize that it's really useful. They are very, very useful. Well, if you like this, remember, go there, like this class. Remember that you can share it. Remember that you can leave comments. You can be in touch with me. And most importantly, this video is going to be available for you to watch it today, tomorrow, and some other days. See you next